Oh, thank the Maker. We need help. They attacked the wagon. Please help us. Follow me. I'll take you to them.
The Grey Warden dies here!
Oh, what? I rather thought I would wake up dead, or not wake up at all, as the case may be. But I see you haven't killed me yet. Oh, so you kept me around to have a bit of fun, did you? But the purpose behind torture is usually to interrogate, yes? In that case, despite the potential for fun, perhaps I'll save you a bit of time and get right to the point. My name is Zevran. Zev to my friends. I am a member of the Antivan Crows, brought here for the sole purpose of slaying any surviving Grey Wardens, which I have failed at, sadly. So would I be, in your shoes. For me, however, it sets a rather poor precedent, doesn't it? Getting captured by a target seems a tad detrimental to one's budding assassin career. Yes, it's true. Too bad for me.
This elf is a crow. That makes sense. They are an order of assassins out of Antiva. I understand they almost run that nation, and are hired only at great expense.
Quite right. I'm surprised you haven't heard much of the crows out here. Back where I come from, we're rather infamous. Oh, fine. Is that what you Fereldans do? Mock your prisoners? Such cruelty. Not precisely. I was in the neighborhood when the offer came. The crows get around, you see. A rather taciturn fellow in the capital. Logan, I think his name was. Yes, that's it. I have no idea what his issues are with you. The usual, I imagine. You threaten his power, yes? Beyond that, no, I am not loyal to him. I was contracted to perform a service. Oh, well, that's between Logan and the crows, and between the crows and myself. Isn't that what we're establishing now? I wasn't. If I had succeeded, I would have returned home and the crows would have informed your Logan of the results, if he didn't already know. If I had failed, I would be dead, or I should be, at least as far as the crows are concerned. No need to see Logan then. What can I say, huh? I am an eternal optimist. Although the chances of succeeding at this point seem a bit slim, don't they? No, I don't suppose you'd find that funny, would you? I wasn't paid anything. The crows, however, were paid quite handsomely, or so I understand. Which does make me about as poor as a chantry mouse, come to think of it. Being an Antivan crow isn't for the ambitious, to be perfectly honest. Well, aside from a distinct lack of ambition, I suppose it's because I wasn't given much of a choice. The crows bought me young. I was a bargain, too, or so I'm led to believe. But don't let my sad story influence you. The crows aren't so bad. They keep one well supplied. Wine, women, men, whatever you happen to fancy. Though the whole severance package is garbage, let me tell you. If you're considering joining, I'd really think twice about it. You seem like a bright girl. I'm sure you've other options. Why not? I wasn't paid for silence. Not that I offered it for sale, precisely. Loyalty is an interesting concept. If you wish, and you're done interrogating me, we can discuss it further. Well, here's the thing. I failed to kill you, so my life is forfeit. That's how it works. If you don't kill me, the crows will. Thing is, I like living. And you obviously are the sort to give the crows pause, so let me serve you instead. I happen to be a very loyal person, up until the point where someone expects me to die for failing. That's not a fault, really, is it? I mean, unless you're the sort who would do the same thing, in which case I don't come very well recommended, I suppose. To be completely honest, I was never given much of a choice regarding joining the Crows. They bought me on the slave market when I was a child. I think I paid my worth back to them plus tenfold. The only way out, however, is to sign up with someone they can't touch. Even if I did kill you now, they might just kill me on principle for failing the first time. Honestly, I'd rather take my chances with you. Possibly. I happen to know their wily ways, however. I can protect myself as well as you. Not that you seem to need much help. And if not, well, it's not as if I had many alternatives to start with, is it? Well, let's see. Being allowed to live would be nice, and would make me marginally more useful to you. And somewhere down the line, if you should decide that you no longer have need of me, then I go on my way. Until then, I am yours. Is that fair? Why? Because I am skilled at many things, from fighting to stealth and picking locks. I could also warn you should the Antivan Crows attempt something more sophisticated, now that my attempts have failed. I could also stand around and look pretty if you prefer. Warm your bed. Fend off unwanted suitors, no? See? I knew we could find a common interest. Or two, or three. Really, I can go all night. So, what shall it be? I'll even shine armor. You won't find a better deal, I promise.
What? You're taking the assassin with us now? Does that really seem like a good idea? Alright, I see your point. Still, if there was a sign we were desperate, I think it just knocked on the door and said hello.
A fine plan, but I would examine your food and drink far more closely from now on, were I you.
That's excellent advice for anyone. I hereby pledge my oath of loyalty to you until such a time as you choose to release me from it. I am your man, without reservation. This I swear. Here I am. Oh, this should be good. Go ahead. Well, the Crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training, the sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is a desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field. I don't know about that. It's simply a slightly different skill set from your average killer as I see it. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler. See? Getting paid for the act is beside the point. An assassin is more a tactical choice than a lifestyle. Of course, the Crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we? Here I am. Oh, I certainly could, but I won't. I swore to the Crows that the things they taught me were to remain a secret. And while, yes, they are already angry at me, I'd rather not push things, you see. If you are truly insistent, well, let me think about it. The Crows are already angry at me, yes? Who knows? I'm still thinking about it. I don't yet want the Crows to actively hunt me, you see. Maybe later. Oh, this should be good. Go ahead. Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it? To be truthful, I didn't even know the Crows existed when I joined them. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased, for 3 sovereigns, I'm told, which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The Crows buy all their assassins that way, buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder, and if you do poorly in your training, you die. Oh, I don't know about that. The Crows who are actually good enough to survive come to enjoy some of the benefits. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go. And here I am, happy to be had. Isn't it wonderful how things work out that way? Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so. Oh, this should be good. Go ahead. And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared, the authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses, even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree? I often find myself the instrument of fate, ending these lives for one necessity or another. I console myself with the notion that most of them had it coming. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed, the pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands. There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules, oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else? Really? I can picture you doing a few things yourself. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them. All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so. My adventures? I'm hardly an old man just returned from across the ocean, am I? Should I shake my fist at nearby children while I talk about the good old days? Falling down a flight of stairs is an adventure. Falling into someone's bed, also an adventure. I am assuming what you're looking for are professional anecdotes. Let's see, my second mission ever for the crows was a bit intriguing. I was sent to kill a mage who had been meddling in politics. Well, it was just the one mage. Not as simple a mission as the vagrant Grey Warden or two, perhaps. As it turned out, the mage in question was quite a delightful young woman. Long, divine legs, as I recall. I caught her in a carriage on her way to escape to the provinces. After I killed her guard, she got down on her hands and knees and begged for her life. Rather aptly, I might add. So I joined her in the carriage for the night and left the next morning. Well, yes, twice, actually. Then she decided to try and use me instead. The woman had actually convinced me to speak to the crows on her behalf. What can I say? I was young and foolish at the time. Then, as I was kissing her goodbye to return to Antiva City, she slipped on the threshold and fell backwards out of the carriage. Broke her neck. Shame, really, but at least it happened quickly. At first, yes. Well, not upset. Surprised is really a better word. Then I found out that she had told the driver to take her to Janellen instead. She had planned to lose me in the provinces. I would have looked very foolish to the crows. As it was, my master was very impressed that I had done such a fine job of making it look like an accident. The circle of magi was unaware of foul play, and everyone was happier all around. Like being spared by a benevolent mark who then helps me escape from the crows? Yes, it does seem to happen now and again, doesn't it? It was after that when I learned that one needn't let a pretty face go to your head. Professionalism was key. That's my moral of the day, you see. Well, there is you. But I'll point out that you did have to capture me and tie me up first. Every rule has its exception. Now that I've mentioned tying me up in that context, Do we have extra rope about? Again? Well now, what might interest you, I wonder? Shall I describe the stages involved with lanthrax poisoning? I watched a man go through all 7 once. Haha, you have rather macabre tastes, I see. I like that. Let's see, how about the largest battle I ever took part in? That would have been the slaughter of Prince Ezrin. Did you hear of that down in these parts? Me? Not personally, but I did take part in the attack. Prince Ezrin was 4th in line to the throne, you see. He started off as 11th, but worked his way up the old-fashioned method by inheriting control of an entire Crocell from his grandfather. After assassinating his way through the royal family, the king hired 3 other cells to take down Prince Ezrin once and for all. I was in one of those cells. Antivan royalty is very much bound up in the Crows. You wouldn't want it run by a bunch of commoners, after all, would you? And this means they get involved in politics quite often. This particular fight nearly bankrupted the nation, I understand. It almost ended up putting a crow on the throne, a commoner. But that's a whole different story. I played a very small part. My part in the entire battle was taken up trying to reach Princess Verina, who had thrown in with her brother. I killed about 11 of her guards personally before I got knocked out of a window. I landed in a river and nearly drowned. I was fished out by some urchins who robbed me blind. Made off with my boots, too. At least they didn't cut my throat. And that was my part in history. It's true. I live a charmed life. One of the prostitutes that raised me was a fortune teller. Said I wouldn't die young. She was rather startled by that. But there you go. Tale told. Let's be off before I tell more embarrassing stories, huh? Well, the only one that's really worth telling is the story of the mission right before I came to Ferelden. But no, I would rather not. I shouldn't have said anything. Thank you. Perhaps another day, huh? I've a question, if I may. Well, here's the thing. I swore an oath to serve you, yes? And I understand the quest you're on, and this is all very fine and well. My question pertains to what you intend to do with me once this business is over with, as a point of curiosity. Of course it is afterwards. The ravishing part is a given. One simply assumes that once your Grey Warden business is finished, you would have no need of an assassin to follow you about. Am I wrong? I'm sure I could come up with a few more if pressed. It is good to know what my options might be, but that is for another time. For now, we have much to do, yes? Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom, or so the saying goes. It's not really a matter of wanting to go back. I cannot go, at least not yet. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable? Oh, I have never seen that place. I am sure it has its charms, and its dogs. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most. I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home more than anything else. Oh, not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. But I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no? True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful Grey Warden, a woman who then spares my life? I could not. I say you are beautiful because it is true. Should I not? And glad I am to hear it. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal. I suppose the crows are already furious, yes? What harm is another tweak to their nose? If you wish to be trained in the basics of an assassin, I can certainly show you. Or anyone else who is also a rogue. It shall be fun. I will make it fun, I promise. Oh, this should be good. What would you like to discuss? This could be a sensitive topic, my dear lady. Are you sure you wish to voyage there? As you wish. Let me start by saying that my history is varied, indeed. It has also not been restricted to women. Does that offend you? I grew up amongst whores, my dear. Sex is best when done well, and truly that is my only rule. Do I prefer women? Yes, I believe I do. But you must understand that a certain open-mindedness is sought by the crows in their recruits, for very good reasons. This is a new path I am on now. It would be interesting to see where it leads. Already it has been many new things. I cannot change my past, obviously. I regret far more than the men and women I have been with, and if that is more than you can bear, well, then it is good we know now, yes? You're a better person than most, I suspect. Ah, enough talk of the past. It is what lies ahead that is important, no? What is your desire? All right, but I get to stare at you luring. Have you ever heard this saying, let sleeping abominations lie? Now would be the time to consider it.
Here we are. I'm somewhat amazed at myself for having kept it in place this long. It made me very weary at times, but I had to stay strong to keep us safe. Be prepared for anything. I do not know what manner of beasts lurk beyond this barrier.
Do not fear, my good lady. Our Grey Warden is very good at fending off attackers. Speaking from experience here.
All right. Be on your guard.
Be wary. I do not think we are alone here.
Everything is just as you wanted, my knight. Our love and our family is more than you hoped for.
Do you hear something, love?
It is nothing, my darling. Just the door. I will get it. The children have finished supper. Tuck them into bed while I see who it is.
Don't be long. The children will want to kiss you goodnight.
I will be but a moment, my pet. You are intruding upon a loving, intimate moment, and I dislike disruptions. I have given him what he always wanted. Where is the harm in that? I saw his loneliness and longing for a family that loved him.
Companionship that is only in the mind. All the fun, none of the cleanup.
No one else would have known his heart. He did not know it himself.
Oh, look, visitors. I'd entertain you, but too much effort involved. But why? Aren't you tired of all the violence in this world? I know I am. Wouldn't you like to just lay down and forget about all this? Leave it all behind.
What is this? Some ridiculous ploy to get me to let down my guard?
Can't keep eyes open. Someone pinch me.
Resist. You must resist. else we are all lost.
Why do you fight? You deserve more. You deserve a rest. The world will go on without you.
I think I saw him flinch that time.
Maybe. We'll make you scream yet, apprentice.
We're not going to go easy on you. Trust me.
No, I wouldn't want you to hold back. I'd be disappointed if you did.
This one has spirit. It's a shame we have to break him.
What? What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. I can't. I need to stay strong. This is my test. I'm going to be a crow. I need to show them I can tolerate pain. What? Oh, that cannot be. And yet, you speak the truth. I can feel it. Is this nothing but a bad dream? A bad memory?
Oh, I think he's questioning us. That's a very, very bad thing to do, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. He will be punished for that. Severely punished.
Do this.
Well, that was bracing. There's nothing like a good racking, is there? What are you doing? Where are you going?
What do we have here? A rebellious minion? An escaped slave? My, but you do have some gall. But playtime is over. You all have to go back now.
How did I get here? What happened to all those luscious wood nymphs?
If you go back quietly, I'll do better this time. I'll make you much happier.
You hear about a note? Maybe we have some things we can talk about.
Just see the conversation stays civil. If this is a trap,
Zevran, is it? You are Talisan's responsibility. Other crows may try to kill you, but in my eyes, you're already dead. So, you are of no notice. But the warden here, she is of great interest to me. I can't stress enough that I wasn't hired to do anything. An associate was, and he's failed, and failed badly.
I'd like to see you do any better.
Do you take me for a fool? That's a contract I'd never take. A client can always hire more help if the job isn't done the first time. But I am hoping we can make sure that doesn't happen.
I've only heard of the one time the entire House of Crows was hired for a job. A princely sum changed hands, and an entire noble family died. Not one soul survived. Ignacio has the right of it. Generally, it is one master, one job.
Ferelden is a busy place. Blight, civil war, other mayhem. Lots of people not getting along. Sometimes they really don't get along. Maybe want to do something about it. The people that handle that sort of thing can get real busy. It takes time to do a good job. Pride in your work and all. But customers have expectations. Not many people to turn to if you're short-staffed in some lines of work. So, someone that's crossed our path and lived, well, maybe they could help out. Make some coin. Everyone wins. I hand you a scroll. You read it, you learn about someone interesting. If you find out something happens to him, something unfortunate, then if we talk again, I give you money for letting me know.
I don't like the sound of this.
You don't like what's on the scroll? Don't do anything. Maybe he has an accident and someone else tells me all about it. That I cannot do. One master has a contract on you. But if you help us out, maybe if that master asks for help, he'll just get silence, yes? There you go. Makes for fine reading.
You're a cautious little weasel, Ignacio. What's your angle? If you're playing us false...
My dance is not for you. I need to be real honest sometimes. And I can say I haven't asked anyone to do anything. I've just given someone something interesting to read.
And you think that will save your hide when they nail it to a wall?
You are already dead in my eyes, Horsan. Take care that I don't learn otherwise. If that's all, luck be to you.
That smell. This is uneven leather, isn't it? I would know that anywhere. I don't know how you found it, but thank you. Now, if only you could find me a prostitute or two, a bowl of fish chowder, and a corrupt politician, I'd really feel like I was home. And they fit as well. Marvelous. You wish to talk? Ah, good. I have a question for you. How well versed are you in poetry? Uneven poetry, specifically. Well, trust me then. You won't be hearing it now. It was recited to me, as I recall, by a rather wealthy target of mine. Let's see. The symphony I see in thee, it whispers songs to me. Songs of hot breath upon my neck. Songs of soft sighs by my head. Songs of nails upon my back. Songs of thee come to my bed. Oh, I know. I couldn't believe that she thought this would actually convince me to spare her. I had sex with her anyway, but that goes without saying. She still had to die. The poem was amusing at the time, however, and thus I've always remembered it. Now that is a thought, isn't it? Would it work? I'll have to keep that in mind. Personally, my preferred methods of seduction are a bit more tactile. Here I thought you might be cheered up by some naughty poetry. You simply look so unhappy. Such an unflattering expression for such a lovely face. Ah, who wouldn't? You're the kind of woman that stokes the lust in men and other women alike. Surely you know this and are playing with me. Me, I tend to make the best of whatever situation I find myself in, stealing what moments I can. It's served me well most days. You might learn to do the same. Oh? Then I learn something new about you every day. Enough poetry, I think. The time has come for traveling and the murdering of villains and whatever else passes for adventuring these days. You call? Can I respond in poetry? No? How sad. Yes, I suppose it is time. You have been a good friend to me after all. There is no reason to be silent. There is a reason I accepted this mission in Ferelden, far away from home, and it had nothing to do with any thought that I might leave the Crows. Meeting you, after all, was quite an accident. My last mission before this one did not end well. You must realize that until that day I was cocky and arrogant. I was the best crow in Antiva, I believed, and I bragged of my conquests often, both as an assassin and lover. Indeed, I was often told I was insufferable, right before I ended up in bed with someone. Such is how it was. One of the Crow Masters grew tired of my boasting. My bid for an incredibly difficult mark was accepted, much to my surprise. A wealthy merchant with many guards and completely silent. Taliesin agreed to be part of my team, as well as an elven lass named Rina. She was a marvel, tough, smooth, wicked, eyes that gleamed like justice. Everything I thought I desired. Rina was special. I had closed off my heart, I thought. But she touched something within me. It frightened me. When Taliesin revealed to me that Rina had accepted a bribe from the merchant, told him of our plan, I readily agreed that she needed to pay the price and allowed Taliesin to kill her. Rina begged me not to. On her knees, with tears in her eyes, she told me that she loved me and had not betrayed us. I laughed in her face and said that even if it were true, I didn't care. I convinced myself it was. Taliesin cut her throat, and I watched her bleed as she stared up at me. I spat on her for betraying the crows. When Taliesin and I finally assassinated the merchant, we found the true source of his information. Rina had not betrayed us, after all. Of course not. I didn't care to know. I wanted to tell the crows what we had done, our mistake. Taliesin convinced me not to. He said it would be a foolish waste. So we reported that Rina had died in the attempt. We needn't have bothered. The crows knew what we had done. The master who disliked me told me so to my face. He said the crows knew, and they didn't care. And one day, my turn would come. To rub it in my face, perhaps. That I was nothing. That she was nothing. You once asked why I wanted to leave the crows. In truth, what I wanted was to die. What better way than to throw myself at one of the fabled Grey Wardens? And then, this happened, and here I am. No, what I want is to begin again. Whatever it is I sought by leaving Antiva, I think I have found it. I owe you a great deal. Let us return to your mission, shall we? Suddenly, I do not feel like standing about. You look so tired, my dear. It is all this constant walking and fighting. I think I know what you need. My thought is this. We retire to your tent, and I show you the sort of massage skills that one only learns growing up in an Antivan whorehouse. A willing victim it is. And if I might ask, if the opportunity to proceed past the massage should present itself, then why are we still talking? See? I knew this would happen eventually. I should have warned you right from the moment you refused to kill me. It was inevitable. Oh, why aren't you the saucy little minx then? I've been used and I wasn't even aware of it. A masterpiece. So then, as the priestess so famously said to the handsome actor, what now? Allow me to make it simple for you, my Grey Warden. What comes next is entirely up to you. I was raised to take my pleasures where they could be found, for they do not come very often. I shall ask nothing more of you than you are willing to give. I must admit, we have come very far from those early days when I tried to kill you and you decided not to kill me. Fate is such a tricky whore, isn't she? At any rate, we should be on our way. A new day awaits us, or so the rumor goes. A little late for that, I should think. My thought is this. We retire to your tent, and I show you the sort of massage skills that one only learns growing up in an Antivan whorehouse. Do you see me laughing? This need be no complex thing. You are a beautiful and fascinating woman. I am, well, I am who I am. Is there any reason not to enjoy each other's company? What is there to fear, my Grey Warden? You deserve a little fun, do you not? If you're not of a mind, however, it is no tragedy. Oh, that. Yes. Bashful, are we? As you wish. Then why are we still talking?
He is quite a character, your Zevran, no? He seems to seek pleasure above all things, but there is more to him, isn't there? He is more complex than he lets on. I feel that it is in my interest to study those I travel with, and Zevran deserves special scrutiny, seeing that he tried to kill you. But it seems you trust him, judging from your closeness. If you do, then I do too. You haven't led us astray yet. That aside, you do have good taste. He's an attractive one. That's an interesting idea. I'll have to think about that.
We want our money.
You brazen hussy. Someone needs to put you in your place.
She's too good.
Be off with you now, and be glad I only took from you your gold. Fools. And look who we have here. Come to apologize for leaving me bereft of my lord husband and then vanishing without a trace.
You know it was just business, Isabella. Business that turned out well for you, I see. You inherited the ship, I take it.
I suppose I never did like the greasy bastard, and the siren treats me far better than she ever did him.
Indeed. This is Isabella, Queen of the Eastern Seas and the sharpest blade in Lomerin. And Isabella, my dear, you will no doubt be amused to discover that I am traveling with a Grey Warden.
A Grey Warden? Charmed. I assume you saw that little drama, and none of these poor brutes has ever proven a match for me. They are too clumsy and predictable. I fight with quickness and wit, rather than with brute force and strength. I call myself a duelist because I honed my skills in duels with warriors I encountered over the years. An unusual request, coming from a fearsome slayer of Darkspawn. I am flattered that you wish to learn from me, sweet thing. It will take you years of practice to achieve true mastery of the style, but I can teach you the basics. I do, however, wish to get to know my potential student better, so we shall call for a drink, and you will honor me with a game. Do you have something else in mind? Oh, and now you've piqued my interest. It would surely be rude of me to decline such a delicious offer.
Are you suggesting... with her? I mean, wow. And here I am, awake and everything. I mean, sure, go ahead. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna go jump in the water now. I hope it's cold.
And what about you, Zev? Shall we? For old time's sake?
Oh, Isabella, you and your ridiculous appetites. Perhaps we should leave it up to our friend here. Ooh, saucy. How can I say no?
Ah, this brings back memories. Come, my ship is down by the docks, and I am sure you will find my cabins quite comfortable. Well, that brings back memories, doesn't it, Zev? Pleasant ones, even.
For you, maybe. I still remember the time your husband tried to kill me. I had to flee across the rooftops completely unclothed.
Ah, yes. Those pleasant memories. Now, wasn't there something you wanted from me? A lesson, perhaps? Come.
Wet frocks.
You're quite taken with each other, aren't you? I almost wish I didn't. Half of us aren't getting any sleep, the way you two carry on all night. I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. It seems he only ever has one thing on his mind. I question the wisdom of a Grey Warden being involved in such an affair. Which is why I worry. You are a Grey Warden. You have responsibilities, and I fear you will neglect them. But you are a Grey Warden. The title is not a coat that you cast aside at the end of the day. It should inform your every action, your every decision. The way you are acting now, it is not fitting of a Grey Warden. If you insist, I have given my advice. Do with it what you will.
I know little enough of the Dalish other than the fact that my mother was one, or so I was told. She had fallen in love with an elven woodcutter and accompanied him back to the city, leaving her clan behind for good. And there, of course, the woodcutter died of some filthy disease and my mother was forced into prostitution to pay off his debts. Oldest tale in the book. Is it? It seemed normal enough a tale growing up. No different than the other elven boys in the whorehouse. I didn't know my mother either, of course. She died giving birth to me. My first victim, as it were. We were all raised communally by the whores. It was a happy enough existence, ignoring the occasional beating. Until eventually I was sold to the crows. I brought a good price, so I hear. Ah, compassion and beauty both in the same woman. It is a delight, truly, though what you say is unnecessary, even if it is appreciated. It could have been much worse. Shall I tell you about what happened to the other whorehouse boys who did not fetch a decent price with the crows? Surely your life has not been so idyllic. People like you and I are not the product of happy lives of contentment, after all. My original point is that my mother's Dalish nature was always a point of fascination for me. Through all the years of my crow training, the one thing of my mother's that I possessed was a pair of gloves. They were of Dalish make, I knew that much, and beautiful. I had to keep them hidden, of course, as we were not allowed such things. Eventually, they were discovered, and I never saw them again. Oh, there has been plenty. To tell the truth, it is because I expected nothing more. Still, even I eventually thought that it would be better for me if I ran off to join the famous Dalish when one of their clans drew near Antiva city. Naturally, the reality did not live up at all to the fantasies I had constructed as a boy, staring at those gloves. But such is life. Come, enough talk of the Dalish. Let us move on.
Hold on, you. That's private property. That's an old man's home, that is. Keep out. Keep out!
No offense, but might I try? I've got a quick hand, after all. Ha, let's see. Oh, when was the last time I slipped my hand into some dark hole? I remember, long story that. And there we go. It was definitely trapped, but I'm too awesome by far. Here's what was inside.
You're a robber, is what you are. They sent you, didn't they? Well, I'll show you. They won't get away with this.
This is strange. The werewolves would not use such a camp, would they? Whoever this belongs to must be nearby.
It shall be done.
The elven hunters didn't set this up. How strange. And yet it all just seems so friendly. I want to do nothing but remain.
I'm surprised that fire hasn't burned out. We should tend it. Is there a stick about? I am tired.
Whew! Now I'm all light-headed.
You know, if it's all the same to you, why don't we sit down for a while? Strange as it sounds, I'd rather camp here before going back out into the forest.
How long has that spirit lingered there, and how many has it preyed upon? I shudder to think of it.
Gloves? You're giving me gloves? What for? Maker's breath. You're right. It is like my mother's. The leather was less thick, and it had more embroidery, but these are very close, and quite handsome. Do I seem surprised? Perhaps I am. Still, I appreciate the fact that you even thought of me. No one has simply given me a gift before. Thank you.
Surely he will agree to end the curse.
I like this plan.
Well, I do not like this plan at all. Inciting these poor creatures to attack the Dalish. Are you mad? Very well. If you think it is best, then do it. But I still think it is cruel.
And you would help us in this? You would attack the Dalish?
Then we attack! They are weak with the curse! Let us leave him no choice but to break it! Break it or die!
Are you truly going to do this? Slaughter the Dalish? My mother was Dalish, or so I'm told. I hold no allegiance for them, but this does not sit well with me. Do not do this thing, I beg you. Thank you. I would do as you ask, if you asked it, but thank you.
I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself. A warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good widow Vilda.
Hopes up. We could search the Deep Roads for decades with no sight of the boy.
Please, find me a...
Oh, Win. I have a friend back in Antiva who would be very excited to meet you.
I'm sorry?
Salvail prefers women with experience and maturity. He says they have more substance, are more robust and flavorful.
Does he now?
Indeed. No need to deny it. Zevran knows a fine bird when he sees one.
I am not a bird.
There is no reason to deny yourself the pleasure of male companionship, after all, yes? You might balk now, but I assure you, Salvael is a gentleman of means and quite handsome.
I am going to walk away now, calmly, coolly. This is to save you the pain of having your brain forcibly removed through your ears.
This must be a Ferelden thing, I swear.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. That may be, and that is a terrible risk for the surface. But even if the world would end tomorrow, Lord Harrowmont cannot ignore Balin today. He cannot afford to trust anyone of unproven loyalties. That's a generous offer. If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. It would certainly make your loyalties loud and clear.
And this is to be your king. One who cannot keep his own men from running like frightened children.
Lord Harrowmont does not use threats or intimidation to motivate his men. He leads by example.
Ah, I see. So it's his example they follow as they cower from this Prince Balin.
How dare you slander Lord Harrowmont?
Why should we ally ourselves with someone too scared even to grant us an audience? Were I you, I would seek a stronger king than this Harrowmont.
Surely you don't mean Balin. Then you and I have nothing more to say.
Let's pretend that I do indeed believe that murder is wrong.
We are not having this conversation.
Were I to believe such a thing, what would I do with it? Feeling guilt about things one can no longer change seems so very time-consuming, with little hope for actual gain.
But you could change what you do in the future.
What would that require exactly? It seems to me that feeling guilty would take up a great deal of my time as it is.
Perhaps you could save a life instead. One for every life you have taken.
That is a great many lives to save and feel guilty as well. Perhaps I could do one or the other.
It is not a game, Zevran. You either know right from wrong, or you do not.
I am so confused. I think I may cry. May I lay my head in your bosom?
No. No, you may not.
You're so very cruel. How is it that you do not feel guilty?
I feel guilty for ever having spoken to you.
There's nothing for you here. It's mine. I've claimed it. The clan? No. But it's still mine! Ruck's been here for years now, and no shiny surfacer will take him away. Begone, you! You'll bring the Dark Ones back, you will. They'll crunch your bones. It's my claim, not yours! Crunch your bones! Go away! This is mine! Only I gets to plunder its riches! No! No talking! You leave my territory! Pretty lady, pretty eyes, pretty hair. Smells like the steam of burning water. Blue as the deepest rock. So, the pretty lady won't take anything from Ruck? You won't take Ruck's shiny worms and pretty rocks? Oh, Ruck not mind that, maybe. Ruck not pretty name. Not pretty like lady. Ruck is small and ugly and twisted. The pretty lady returns. I am so pleased. Ruck's been thinking about you. No filter. No mother. No warm blanket and stew and pillow and soft words. Ruck doesn't deserve good memories. No. She did not know. Not what I did. I was very angry, and then someone was dead, and they wanted to send Ruck to the mines. If I went to the mines, she would know. Everyone would know. So I came here instead. Once you eat, Once you takes in the darkness, you not miss the light so much. You know, do you not? Ruck sees. Yes, he sees the darkness inside you. I means nothing by it. No, she cannot. She remembers a boy, a little boy with bright eyes and a hammer, and she cannot see this. Swear, promise, vow you won't tell. Yes. Tell the mother Ruck is dead. He's dead, and his bones are rotting in the crawler's webs, and she should never look again. Pretty lady is like mother, yes. Too good, too pretty for the darkness. Good friend is back. A good friend won't make Ruck remember the light. How can Ruck help the friend? I will answer your questions, pretty lady. Anything you wish. Bits of things, but only bits. The crawlers took almost everything. They take things of steel and things of paper. They takes the shinies. They bring to the great nest, the nest...
I'm not what one would call a sympathetic man, but seeing him like this pains me. We should at least put him out of his misery.
It's not so bad. The dark and the burning keeps Ruck warm. Warm like mother's arms.
His mind is gone, and his body will soon follow. I've seen victims of poisoning in better shape. I hate to say it, but leaving him alive is crueler than just killing him.
Ah! The pretty lady is treacherous! Don't hurt Ruck, no!
My name is Carradine. Once, longer ago than I care to think, I was a paragon to the dwarves of Orzammar. If you seek the anvil, then you must care about my story, or be doomed to relive it. Though I made many things in my time, I rose to fame and earned my status based on a single item, the Anvil of the Void. It allowed me to forge a man of steel or stone as flexible and clever as any soldier. As an army, they were invincible, but I told no one the cost. No mere smith, however skilled, has the power to create life. To make my golems live, I had to take their lives from elsewhere. So said my king. I had only intended to use volunteers, but he was not satisfied, and soon a river of blood flowed out of this place. Finally, it was too much. I refused, and so Valtor had me put on the anvil next. Not revenge. The blow of the hammer opened my eyes. My apprentices knew enough to make me as I am, but not enough to fashion a control rod. I retained my mind. We have remained entombed here ever since, and I have sought a way to destroy the anvil. Alas, I cannot do it myself. No golem can touch it.
No! The anvil is mine! No one will take it from me!
You, please, help me destroy the anvil. Do not let it enslave more souls than it already has.
Don't listen! He's been trapped here for 1,000 years, stewing in his own madness. Help me claim the anvil, and you will have an army like you've never seen!
Bronca, you mad, bleeding nugtail! Does this thing mean so much to you that you can't even see what you've lost to get it?
Look around. Is this what our empire should look like? A crumbling tunnel filled with darkspawn spume? The anvil will let us take back our glory!
Living souls suffer all the time. Peasants working the land are trapped, but we do not go about destroying farmland, do we? It just seems a waste to destroy the anvil, given what it could do. Now, let's not be unreasonable. You wouldn't do that, surely. All right. Perhaps destroying it is a good idea.
Thank you, stranger. Your compassion shames me.
Bah! You're not the only master smith here, Caradin. Golems, obey me! Attack!
I bid you welcome, pilgrim. You have come to honor Andraste, and you shall, if you prove yourself worthy. Then you will not come to the ashes. It is not my place to decide your worthiness. The gauntlet does that. If you are found worthy, you will see the urn and be allowed to take a small pinch of the ashes for yourself. If not... Before you go, there is something I must ask. I see that the path that led you here was not easy. There is suffering in your past. Your suffering, and the suffering of others. You abandoned your father and mother, leaving them in the hands of Rendon Howe, knowing he would show no mercy. Do you think you failed your parents? Thank you. That is all I wish to know.
You are too hard on yourself. No one's perfect.
Accept your failings, but do not let them govern your life.
And now the self-flagellation? Oh, that is what comes next in these things, no?
And what of those that follow you? Alistera, Knight, and Warden. You wonder if things would have been different if you were with Duncan on the battlefield. You could have shielded him from the killing blow. You wonder, don't you, if you should have died and not him?
Yes. If Duncan had been saved and not me, everything would be better. If I just had the chance, maybe I...
Ask your question, Guardian. I am ready.
You are ever the advisor, ready with a word of wisdom. Do you wonder if you spout only platitudes, burned into your mind in the distant past? Perhaps you are only a tool, used to spread the word of the Circle and the Chantry. Does doubt ever chip away at your truths?
You frame the statement in the form of a question, yet you already know our answers. There is no sense in hiding, is there? Yes, I do doubt at times. Only the fool is completely certain of himself.
And the Antivan elf.
Oh, is it my turn now? Hurrah! I'm so excited.
Many have died at your hand. But is there any you regret more than a woman by the name of...
How do you know about that?
I know much. It is allowed to me. The question stands, however. Do you regret?
Yes, the answer is yes, if that's what you wish to know. I do. Now move on.
The way is open. Good luck, and may you find what you seek.
Uh-oh. I'm terrible at puzzles. Hey, you see those thingies over on the side of that huge chasm? I bet they're used for something. Maybe I should touch them or stand on them?
Yes. Next time we see a strange contraption, why don't you just go stand on it? If something bad happens, hey, we know it's a trap.
You don't really think they're traps, do you?
There's a moral in here somewhere. Something to do with building bridges with friends or some such.
didn't think anyone could succeed in finding Andraste's final resting place. But here she is.
I could not have asked for a greater honor than to be here. I will never forget this feeling.
Nice vase. I should get one for my house.
Come back. You were gone for quite some time. Well, did you find it? Is that? Oh, there's some dust on... No, that's not dust. Omega, I'm not worthy to look upon. What was it like, coming to the urn, I mean? Tests? Interesting. Very interesting. Perhaps my research will not seem so much like blasphemy to the Chantry now. We must organize an expedition. There is so much history here, it must be studied. And pilgrims should be allowed to come to the urn. But the urn belongs to all the faithful. How can you deny this to them? No, we must share it.
You have noble intentions, Brother Genitivi. But can you say the same of your brethren in the Chantry?
So everyone comes by and takes some ashes from the urn. Ooh, I hope that urn is self-replenishing.
And perhaps charge an entrance fee, no?
I will spread this good news or die trying. I must return home. I have much to do. If you ever find yourself in Denerim, please visit me. I am not a rich man.
I guess it's like Duncan once said. We can sense them, and they can sense us. We'd bet...
What will they send next? Darkspawn tax collectors?
Fortifications should be built around the camp.
Yeah, can't get a bloody night's rest.
How unnerving.
It will be more difficult to sleep here now.
What, no trap? No ambush? Huh. Some assassins. You know, I could get to like this. The last time I came to Denerim, I stayed at an inn so filthy the bedbugs had fleas. You call?
It's a trap.
And so here is the mighty Grey Warden at long last. The crows send their greetings once again.
So they sent you, Taliesin. Or did you volunteer for the job?
I volunteered, of course. When I heard that the great Zevran had gone rogue, I simply had to see it for myself.
Is that so? Well, here I am, in the flesh.
You can return with me, Zevran. I know why you did this, and I don't blame you. It's not too late. Come back and we'll make up a story. Anyone can make a mistake. You don't even know who you're talking about, do you?
And neither do you, Taliesin. I'm sorry, my old friend, but the answer is no. I'm not coming back. And you should have stayed in Antiva. You wish to talk? Ah, good. I have a question for you. You and Alistair are quite close, are you not? I am curious as to the nature of your relationship. Isn't it? I've watched you and he together. I know a complication when it rears its head and threatens to bite. You and I have had our fun, but if this thing between you and Alistair is leading somewhere, I'll happily step aside. Complication avoided. Everyone's the happier, yes? What I want, if only it were so simple. I make no claims upon you, nor would I dream of such. You are free to pursue your fancies as you desire, and I would have it no other way. I suspect Alistair, however, would not feel the same way. If there is to be something between you and I, to string him along would only hurt him deeply. Surely you know this is true. And what would you have me do then? I am many things, a murderer, a thief, a lover, but I am no cheat. If whatever is between us cannot be honest, let it not be at all. And glad I am to hear it. You will need to be the one that tells Alistair, however. And there it is. Taliesin is dead. And I am free of the crows. They will assume that I am dead along with Taliesin. So long as I do not make my presence known to them, they will not seek me out. I do not know. It seems I have options now, whereas once I had none. I suppose it would be possible for me to leave now if I wished. I could go far away, somewhere where the crows would never find me. I think, however, that I could also stay here. I made an oath to help you, after all, and saving the world seems a worthy task to see through to the end, yes? Well, we can't have that, can we? I'd best stay lest the consequences become unseemly. Let us return to the task at hand, then. There is still much to be done, yes? Here. It seems an appropriate moment to give you this. Let's hope not. I acquired it on my very first job for the Crows. A Raveni merchant prince, and he was wearing a single jeweled earring when I killed him. In fact, that's about all he was wearing. I thought it was beautiful and took it to mark the occasion. I've kept it since, and I'd like you to have it. Don't get the wrong idea about it. You killed Taliesin. As far as the Crows will be concerned, I died with him. That means I'm free, at least for now. Feel free to sell it or wear it, whatever you like. It's really the least I could give you in return. Look, just take it. It's meant a lot to me, but so has what you've done. Please, take it. You are a very frustrating woman to deal with. Do you know that? We pick up every other bit of treasure we come across, but not this. You don't want earring, you don't get earring. Very simple. I did not thank you. It occurs to me now that you have freed me from the Crows, and yet I did not think to thank you for it. No matter why you did it, it was done, and I the benefactor. So, thank you. In the Crows, we do not have friends, and yet here you are, and I cannot help but consider you such. Then allow me to say this. What we are doing here, stopping the Blight, I cannot think of anything I have ever done which is so worthy. I intend to see this through to the end with you. After all, someone must take responsibility for preventing your untimely death. A suitable task for a friend, yes? Oh, I'm not going to die. It's always the Grey Wardens that die. Did you not read the stories as a child? The hero always dies. Unless the hero has a trusty sidekick with him, then the sidekick dies instead. I knew there was a catch. This friendship business is for the birds, I see.
So, I understand that this is it. You've chosen someone else. Word travels quickly. You know how it is. Look, I'm fine with it. Really. If it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. Zev's a lucky bastard. That's all I really have to say about it. I hope he makes you happy. Oh, I don't know that I'd go that far. Let's get back to it then. We have plenty of other things to keep us busy.
I am yours. Again? I'm game. No. I mean, no offense. No. I do not wish to talk about it. Good. We have plenty of other things to deal with after all. I thought that this might be it. Are you certain you wish to talk about this? I really do not know what to say. Very well. An assassin must learn to forget about sentiment. It is dangerous. You take your pleasures where you can when life is good. To expect anything more would be reckless. I thought it was the same between us, something to enjoy, a pleasant diversion, and little more. And yet... I don't know. How would you know such a thing? I grew up amongst those who sold the illusion of love, and then I was trained to make my heart cold in favor of the kill. Everything I have been taught says what I feel is wrong. Yet, I cannot help it. Since you asked me into your tent, I have been nothing but confused. Do you understand me at all? I still have the earring. I would like to give it to you as a token of affection. Will you take it? Not unless you wish it. Then that is enough for me. I am sorry for acting so strangely. I think I will be better now. Much better. Pirate Zevran reporting for duty. Prepare to be boarded. Shall I play hard to get? Let me think. Work, work, work! The itch has returned, I see. What? And I'm not even drunk yet.
I have watched you for a time, and perhaps I was wrong. There seems to be something special between the two of you. His demeanor changes when he's with you. There is a tenderness to his gaze I'd never seen till now. Perhaps he just allowed you to see it. I think I was too harsh in my judgment before, and I am sorry. What you have may not last forever. Death and duty may part you, but love's worthiness is not diminished because of that. I should have seen this before. Instead, you learn to cherish every precious moment that you spend together, knowing that it may be the last. And for those of us watching, well, it brings warmth to these old bones to know that something so beautiful can be found in the midst of chaos and strife.
Warden, in the name of the Regent, I am placing you under arrest for the murder of Rendon Howe and his men-at-arms. Surrender, and you may be shown mercy.
Why stop now? Calthrion is all that stands between us and freedom.
Are you sure this is what you wish? I'm surprised this ended peacefully. Bring the Wardens. Loghain doesn't care about the rest.
Eamon, we have a problem.
We have very little time for chat. We need to work out a plan.
Calm down. What has happened?
The Wardens have been captured.
What? How could this happen?
Never mind that. The question is how to free her.
Surely you mean them, Your Highness. We need Allister too.
Yes, of course, I meant Allister too. Calthrion will take her to Fort Draken. Getting in will be no small feat.
Oh, you're awake. I was starting to worry. Join the Grey Wardens. See the sights from the floors of the best prisons in the land. It's not much of a recruitment slogan, is it? Who do you think will come? Oh, I wish I could see that. One person assaulting Fort Draken all alone. I hope you're right.
State your business.
I have a delivery for the commander of the fort.
What is it? I wasn't notified about anything coming today.
Well, the items are of a personal nature. No doubt he didn't want anyone to know.
Ah, fine. Wait over there. I'll get the captain.
There. Not so difficult, was it?
All right, what's this about?
A delivery, for which I have still not been paid, by the way.
No one told me about any deliveries today.
I cannot imagine why not. Surely your commanding officer informs you whenever he is having items of a personal nature delivered to him?
What is... No, I don't want to know. Go on in.
I think that's a new record, even for an Earl of Denerim. Didn't he only hold the title for 10
We
days?
may want to rethink this.
State your business.
This is a crime.
What?
For a young woman in the prime of her life to waste away. I suppose there is some comfort in the knowledge that you sacrifice your youth and beauty, the best years of your life, for your kingdom, but it seems such a loss.
I hadn't really thought of it like that.
How noble! To sacrifice the pleasures of life so others might enjoy them. Your idealism is impressive.
You know, you're right. 3 Saturnalias in a row, they've stuck me on barracks duty. 3! I'm going to live my life before it's too late. Let somebody else guard their stupid door.
And this is where we dispense with charm and subterfuge. These guards will know we have no business here. What's intrude? This won't take long. Ah, my dear Warden. Did you miss me?
I am Caladrius, and you, I assume, must be the Grey Warden I've heard so much about. One can hardly get a word out of the Regent besides Warden these days. It's surpassed even gold in popularity. Yes, you would be curious about that, wouldn't you? I've heard that you're trying to erode Logain's support. It must be a difficult task, yes, like washing away a mountain. Perhaps you could use some help. Truth be told, there was always a limit to how long we were going to be able to operate here. We've paid for many of Logain's troops, but once the Landsmeet is done, we become inconvenient. So, here is my offer. 100 sovereigns from you for a letter with the seal of the Terran of Guaren upon it, implicating him in all of this. Then, we leave a few days earlier than planned with our profits and remaining slaves unharmed.
I suggest you look those elves in the eyes before you agree to have them hauled off to slavery, my friend.
I feel dirty. We're not considering this, are we?
So, do we have a deal? Even you must admit it's much better than resorting to barbarism, yes? It's legitimate. Whether or not it will actually help you, of that I cannot say. Some people will not believe the truth even when it is right in front of them, yes? You're not. Did I say you were? I'm simply hoping the world is full of pragmatists, shall we say. Pity. Looks as if we shall have to settle this the hard way, then. My apologies.
Awesome.
Enough! It seems your reputation is an accurate one. I surrender. Wait! Hear me out, dear lady. Were I to use the life force of the remaining slaves here, I could augment your physical health a great deal. Allow me to leave this place alive, and I would be more than happy to do this little service for you.
Little service? He is talking of blood magic. Surely you would not consider such a thing. Most wise.
Then, I don't suppose you would consider just, letting me go? Ah. Well, that is a shame, isn't it?
Do not be alarmed. It is only I. I am well. 'Tis you who are in danger. I have a plan, you see. A way out. The loop in your hole. I know what happens when the archdemon dies. I know a Grey Warden must be sacrificed, and that sacrifice could be you. I have come to tell you that this does not need to be. I offer a way out for all the Grey Wardens, that there need be no sacrifice. A ritual, performed on the eve of battle, in the dark of night. Perhaps, but that price need not be so unbearable, especially if there is much to be gained. All I ask is that you listen to what I have to offer, nothing more. What I propose is this. Convince Alistair to lay with me, here tonight, and from this ritual, a child shall be conceived within me. The child will bear the taint, and when the archdemon is slain, its essence will seek the child like a beacon. At this early stage, the child can absorb that essence and not perish. The archdemon is still destroyed with no Grey Warden dying in the process. Alistair despises me. You know this. He rarely listens to reason, but he would listen to you. You, of all people, could influence him. Think about what I offer you. The chance to avoid death. Or better yet, the chance to slay the archdemon and live as a hero. No Grey Warden has ever done this. In return, I conceive a child. One who will be born with the soul of an old god. After this is done, you allow me to walk away, and you do not follow. Ever. The child will be mine to raise as I wish. You will advise him to do so, and because he trusts you more than he would ever trust me, he will comply. Consider the alternative. If Riordan fails, do you think Alistair will hesitate? The future king of Ferelden? He will die the hero, and you will be overshadowed. Just a Grey Warden who accompanied the king. If you would rather, consider Zevran. What do you think he would advise if he knew the life of his beloved was at risk? I think you know.
So, we head into the city to face the archdemon together, do we? Just as it should be. If this should be the last we speak, I want you to know, assassinating you was the luckiest thing that could have happened to me. Yes, I know that. I will be relieved when all this pomp and ceremony is done. Such events are perfect opportunities for assassins, after all. I can't help but expect the crows to appear at any moment, which would be a welcome break, mind you. You see? This is why I like you. Always game for a little fun. You know, it does occur to me that staying in one place is only going to invite the crows to find me that much quicker, while fun, that might eventually get complicated. You said earlier that you were planning on returning to the Grey Warden fold soon. Is that true? Naturally. You caught me and now you're stuck with me, I'm afraid. Sad, I know, but we'll manage somehow. Well then, since I am sticking around, I suppose we'll have plenty of time to speak later, yes? So go on and get paraded about. It's fun to watch. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on you and make sure no one gets a clear shot. Not without paying me a great deal of coin, anyhow.